Things I wish I knew before I started. When you have struggled with weight loss your whole life, it feels like you can do anything to see the scales move. But when the results start showing up, new fear can set in. A fear of doing the wellness journey sustainability wrong. One day I will buy a cute microphone handle, but so far, hello. I have spent a lot of time and money on self-education, on therapy, on medical treatment during this 30-kilogram loss, and I want to share what almost nobody talks about, the middle and after. I wish I understood that better. First lesson I wish I understood better before, and it would be the thing that I would share if I had to share only one lesson. It's you need to do sports to protect your muscle mass, and I mean you need to do sports if you're losing weight. It's not for aesthetic, it's for health, and you heard that many times that you need to go to gym because it makes you healthy, but what do you mean healthy? And understanding the connection between muscles and bones changed my relations to gym motivation forever. Strong muscles lead to strong bones, and strong bones can help minimize the risk of fracture due to osteoporosis. And one of my deepest fear about getting older is to break a hip bone. So when I think about me falling down from stairs, what can I do? I can go to gym and build muscle mass. Everyone better be having good muscles to support bones, but with weight loss, there is very dangerous connection of losing not only fat but also muscles, especially if it's rapid weight loss, maybe after surgery, medication, or some other situations. And from the Health Harvard, the good news is that research shows that strength training can play a role in slowing bone loss and can even build bone. This is tremendously useful to help offset age-related declines in bone mass. Activities that put stress on bones can nudge bone-forming cells into action. That stress comes from the tugging and pushing on bone that occur during strength training, as well as weight-bearing aerobic exercises like walking or running, etc. I did not know that bones health depends so much on muscle mass, and I started my swimming workouts before I even started my treatment with Mounjaro because my doctor told me so. I was like, yeah, everyone says you need to do sports, and I do sports. With my weight situation at that point, the safest sports for me was swimming. I talked to my doctor, she said, yeah, go swim. I started swimming, then I started with Mounjaro, and at some point I added 20 minutes on bike in gym with RPM 60 to 70 with zero resistance, and now I do weight training with the support of professional coach because my weight is safe for it. When I feel low energy, I do swim, and also I like reformer Pilates, and all that I do to protect my bones and to be more active and also to support metabolic health. It is really for health, but it brings beauty. Everything is discussed with my doctors because once I came to my doctor's office and I said that I want to do recommended in internet 40 minutes climb meal training, and they said that I need to chill because at that point and this point still it's not something which is safe for me, for my health. So talk to your doctors. Even if you think that it's stellar idea to climb meal for 40 minutes. Talk to your doctors, ask advices, and do sports for stronger hips. Weight loss does not automatically heal body image, and it's one of the most uncomfortable topics to talk about in all this weight loss universe. Because sometimes I look in the mirror and I don't recognize myself. Brain updates slower than body. It seems like accomplishing the physical change is very hard, and that mental change is what comes naturally in the process. Maybe for some people it does. For me, I'm still integrating in this minus more than 30 kilogram weight and lifestyle. I still sometimes feel like I'm bigger than some chairs, and I'm pleasantly surprised, but it takes a lot of mental energy to recalibrate your whole existence in objective reality from your subjective perception. Sometimes I try on something in the dressing room in a store and it doesn't fit, and I can start spiraling because, yeah, I thought too good of my progress. Sometimes, on the contrary, I try something on in a dressing room. It's bigger than I expected, and I feel just confused that I'm just you are confused a lot. It's cool, it happened, but you are so confused. And it takes time, and it's okay. I'm set to confirm number 3. People want thinness to be earned through suffering, or medical weight loss comes with judgment. And I think we talked about how many people consider GLP-1, JP, to be an easy way out. And in my opinion, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a patient and someone who talks a lot to people who have insulin resistance, PCOS treatments, maybe surgeries. For some people, it's not an easy way out. It's the only way out because metabolic health is more complex than calories. And I think this whole discourse is so silly because when the end goal is to have more healthy society and people get healthier, why the way is so important. But there is study where findings indicate that perception of obese individuals can in fact improve after they have lost weight, but that this might depend on the method of weight loss, and people really assign virtue to natural weight loss. And I know that it's so much stuff happening around the world and we cannot do and understand everything. But I think assuming that you maybe don't know some facts makes you less judgmental. And participants also rated the target of the study as less lazy when they learned that she had lost weight through diet and exercise, or when no information was provided about the method of weight loss. The target who lost weight through surgery, however, was not seen as being any less lazy after losing weight. We talked about this study in the previous Sit and Talk video. And it is true. We're just trying to do our best. Is it complicated? Yeah, oh, it is complicated. There are many side effects. There is lack of education. But it feels like you get aura points for shedding weight naturally. And you get minus aura points when you had any medical help, even if you needed it. My experience. The psychologically awkward middle phase. Let me explain. So, you start your weight loss journey, and it works. And people notice every 5 kilograms and be very supportive and very intrigued, maybe. There is something going on. You are doing something that society wanted you to do for years, maybe. So there is hype there is dopamine, there is novelty. But then you are in the middle of the marathon and no one applauds. Transformation becomes normalized. You are still putting enormous effort in. You pay for your meds, you go to your treatments, you do sports, you improve nutrition, you fix this and do that. It's a lot of mental load, but no one applauds. It's just what you do. People know you like a person who does that, who transforms themselves. And I think this is a critical point where many people either start building this self assured motivation, the motivation and goal around well being, or they can start sabotaging the process because external validation disappears. What is the point if nobody praises me for doing what society demanded from me? It is tricky, also identity related place, but I really believe it's an important moment that predicts if it will be a sustainable change or not. It's still weird, it's still awkward, it's still work, but I did not know that it's going to happen to me. It's awkward middle between being clinically overweight and between goal weight. The myth of goal weight. One thing that I noticed with a big surprise, my doctors are not talking much about is goal weight. My gynecologist last year said that around 85 kilogram, it's the weight where my body probably already will be in a much safer space for pregnancy. I'm not thinking about pregnancy for this year or even following year. Let's see. But other doctors, for example, my therapist, she knows that in my case, behind goal weight, there is bigger topic to be unpacked, and there can be unreasonable expectations and risks we would love to avoid, because having the magic number in your head can be very much connected with triggering of ED and relapsing if it already existed in the mental health history, or just gaining new health, mental health feature. And no one in their right mind want a person on wellness journey to gain mental health issue. So goal weight is a mythical creature and we should be careful with it, in my opinion. I have been in therapy for 5-6 years, for a lot of time. I think 5 years. One of the reasons I started with the therapy was ED, knowing that I have predisposition. I haven't tracked my weight scale numbers for a couple of months. Only my doctors registered it because I was not sure I was stable enough to go into this topic, and I have started my insulin resistance treatment. As insulin resistance treatment, I did not want to get to diabetes type 2, and I did sports, I did my meds, I did nutrition, and at some point I understood that I'm not terrified anymore of the scales. I started tracking my weight, and now I can say that I lost more than 30 kilograms with less terror than it would be 2 years ago, though it's a good thing. And I still don't keep scales at my apartment. I only use scales at my doctor's and sometimes at gym. And honestly, God bless a person who breaks the scales at gym, because they would mess more with my mind, even with all the therapy and positive changes. I'm just a bit trembling because it is a vulnerable topic. I think that social media sells people the fantasy that there is one finish line where suddenly everything becomes perfect. The goal weight. Your body becomes perfect, your confidence improves, your relationships get so rich and so beautiful, and your health is perfect. But metabolism, hormones, and mental health are much more complex than that. My washing machine required my attention with treatments like Mounjaro, for example. It can happen that medication helps your body to reach a healthier milestone by treating PCOS, insulin resistance, metabolic issues. And when body reaches this healthier metabolic adaptation point, also people sometimes call it set point. At this set point, one might stay for many months, no matter if they use peptides or not. So it can be so that one manages weight loss on some medication during treatment, and then weight loss stops, and the role of medication becomes, at least for some time, to support the set point achieved. And research around GLP-1 medication and metabolic adaptation is still developing, but scientists already know that during weight loss, the body often tries to conserve energy through adaptive thermogenesis. Basically, the energy consumption decreases with body weight. Honestly, I think this is why goal weight can become a curse in disguise. Goal weight is not always the healthiest weight. What you decide in the brain in expectations might not be matching the reality. And this is the point that I had to come in peace with. And honestly, I haven't fully. It's also a journey. Lowest possible weight for someone is not always the healthiest and the most sustainable. And I'm really grateful to all the specialists who say that we really need to focus our attention at health markers, at ultrasounds of liver, of heart, than on scales. The last unexpected lesson I learned is that weight loss can create a fear too. We talked about fear of doing it wrong in the beginning, and I think it's final boss that I think it's only possible to work on in therapy or in journaling is the fear of regaining weight. We learned in previous point that it can happen and it's not totally your fault. It's body trained to preserve life intact, and changes to higher weight can happen even with medication, with surgery, with support of doctors. Life happens, and this fear of coming back, losing progress, it's actually can be triggered by compliments. And I think I wrote in my Substack about depressive brain and also compliments about weight loss, which can be perceived with not hostility but seen as a pressure. I don't say that everyone has the same experience, but this is what can happen and what I see happening not only with me but with other people in the weight loss community online, mostly in private conversations also. When someone says, "Oh my god, I see your glow, your body looks snatched, you changed so much," as if people who lost weight can hear it as, "Don't go back there." It feels like people are kind of monitoring you On one hand, there is awkward middle where it feels like no one pays attention to what you do. And on their hand, when people notice, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. Mostly it's very positive. But this is what happens with the brain. And I think it's important to catch it, to journal, and live happier life right here, right now, in the present, grounded, and enjoy fruits of your labor. And this is what I'm learning to do too. Just be compassionate to yourself as you can be compassionate to your closest friend. And we'll do our best. And you too. I have realized that weight loss is a physical process, but most of significant changes are happening in the mental sense. What I wanted to say with this video is that if you go through any significant changes, having identity crisis is okay. It's your brain adapting to changing reality and it takes time. It's fine. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just evolving. Let's talk in the comment section. What was your important mental milestone in the journey that is not connected with scales numbers? Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Stay hydrated, eat well, do sports for your bones, and I see you very soon in the next one. Bye.